This is the Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. I hope everyone's doing well. I'm going to play some intro videos, and I cut this one home in just a little bit short, but each one of these, for the uninitiated, gives a message, a particular message. Plus, we give time for people to get into the chats. So I appreciate everybody showing up tonight. I appreciate everybody watching on Rumble, and I hope my voice is coming through nice and clear. So sit back, relax, and get you a cup of coffee or whatever else you'd like to have, and we'll be getting down to some business.
How you doing? Look, let me start out by saying this. If I offend anybody today, I don't give a shit. Don't care. The media in the back room, I'm sure I'll be reading a lot of hit pieces on me tomorrow. I don't give a shit what you think about me. I get asked all the time, does it bother you? There's a big part of this country that hates your guts. I don't care. I don't care. Because we got a job to do. You know, I wake up every day for the last 4 years pissed off because the Biden administration took the most secure border in my lifetime and unsecured it on purpose. Right?
I've had the story for 3 years. I've had this interview with Virginia Roberts. We would not put it on the air. First of all, I was told, who's Jeffrey Epstein? No one knows who that is. This is a stupid story. Then the palace found out that we had her whole allegations about Prince Andrew and threatened us a million different ways. We were so afraid we wouldn't be able to interview Kate and Will that also quashed the story. She told me everything. She had pictures. She had everything. It was unbelievable what we had. Clinton, we had everything. Do I think he was killed? 100%. Yes, I do. Because he made his whole living blackmailing people. There were a lot of men in those planes, a lot of men who visited that island, a lot of powerful men who came into that apartment.
ISIS is honoring President Obama. He is the founder of ISIS. He's the founder of ISIS, okay? He's the founder. He founded ISIS. And I would say the co-founder would be crooked Hillary Clinton. That's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something...
Donald, you must move your head.
Shenzo, you died, and I'd never got the chance to say goodbye.
Donald, I don't say goodbye. You need to remember your training. Move your head. I cannot explain. I must go.
Wait, Shenzo, if I never see you again, then see you later, Space Cowboy.
But you will see me again, because there is one last thing that I must do.
Months old, and if you want to really see something that's said, take
Thank you, Shenzo. I'll guard the roads, and I'll guard the skies.
They have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
He's absolutely going to come back with full vengeance the next time around.
Now think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution really does give the president tremendous power to destroy. This will be something we could never have imagined. Now the gloves are off. Payback time.
Trump's close political allies told him they are working on figuring out the identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and AG in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. The deep state is destroying our nation, but the tables must turn and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. I've been looking at them for a long time.
He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he perceives as enemies.
Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart, and you have to fight fire with fire. You can't allow this to go on. And I will be the one to clean it up. I am your retribution. We will take care of it.
All right, folks, I hope you all are doing well. Let me see you all's made it in this evening. Wow, we got a lot of people. Hi, Darla, nice to see you. First one in. Melinda, David, Gary, haha. Sissy, Robin, Andrew, Sherry's here. Wayne's here, give me thumbs ups. Yeah, I hope y'all remember. Give me thumbs up. Helps the video get around. Hi, love. Todd's here. Nice to see you. Kathy's here listening. Rebecca's here. Haha. I hope I didn't miss anybody. Hi, Debbie. Oh. She still thinks she is a felon. Oh, she still thinks he's a felon. Oh, my. I'm just reading Melissa's. Haha. Well, she didn't vote for him the second time? Yeah. Well, I tell you what, those judges that dreamt that garbage up, look for them to be in the news. They'll either be busted down to traffic court or forced to resign, and some of them may even do a little jail time. Yeah. Hi, Angela. Nice to see you. Flannel cheese. Nice to see you. Yeah, that's a shame she thinks that. But it's, hi, Doc, nice to see you. It is a very sophisticated television shows. Wanda, a very sophisticated PSYOP, trillion dollar machine. That our Cat Racker, nice to see you. Cat Tracker, okay, gotcha. I'll just say cat. All right. If I missed anybody, I apologize. So anyway, I play those videos for any new people that might be tuning in to my broadcast for the first time. I play the videos for a reason. And Tom Holman, I put him up because he tells it like it is. Biden left the border open on purpose. And he doesn't give a you-know-what about what the media says because they are an arm of the Democrat Party. So, and the other videos I put up all have a message. Who started ISIS? Okay, Barack Hussein Obama and the Hildebeest. So, Amy Rohrbach, I believe that's how you pronounce her name. She talks about ABC covering up. Hi, Tracy. ABC covering up how she had all the information on the Epstein situation years ago. And Shinzo Abe lost his life We all know how that goes with the Jason Bourne identity, the lone wolf program that the C.I.A. has. And it's just a recap at the last video. They tried to take him out. But like Trump said, we needed a pause. We needed people to see. We needed people to see what these lunatics would do if they had the chance, what they would do to our culture, what they would do to our families, what they would do to our finances, what they would do against world peace, warmongering. It's all happening right before us. And they have their disjointed now. They're off balance, but they are trying to get on the same page with their counter narrative. But anyway, there's so much to go through. I have pogroms in Syria. Remember, those of you who have been with me for a long time, I said, remember the word pogrom. And that was a term that was used quite often back in the 1930s and 40s when groups get another group they don't like or agree with, and they persecute them and end their lives, beat them, take their property, things of that nature. So there are pogroms going on right now in Syria. Not a lot of people are reporting on it. Jack Posobiec, scenes from Syria are horrific. Islamic government forces reportedly have official orders to kill anyone they consider an infidel on sight. Remember I said, an old friend of mine told me a long time ago, when he was deployed during World War II, he was told to be very careful. Because he was in Tripoli, and they were chasing the desert rat, Erwin Rommel. And they were told, if you're not in the Muslim faith, don't go around them alone. Don't step out of line, because you're worse than a dog to them, lower than a dog. So this is Christians, Druze, Yazidis, and even Alawite Muslims are now facing genocide. And, it's not just it is a Christian persecution for sure. But if you're not Muslim enough, or if you're not their kind of Muslim, okay, that's how it goes. And it's awful. It's horrible. I can't put any portion of a clip up of a dozen clips I've seen that are very brutal. They actually make people crawl in a pack. Dozens of people on their hands and knees, make them bray like donkeys. They call them donkeys, or howl like dogs. And then they still do the ultimate offense, take their lives at the end of it. And it's awful. It's awful to watch, hard to watch. And as I said before, the purpose of a civilized society is to create a civilization where you don't not only not see those things, but you don't even have to have it beyond a fairy tale that you tell your children to be careful of. Not something that you would describe in any detail or have such darkness enter your mind or your children's minds. And here we're seeing it every day. And here is the guy. I put a video up about him where the news, what was it? I think it was Politico. I'm not sure. Somebody was interviewing him, and they asked him what his pronouns were. He dressed up in a suit. He acted like he was tolerant. just before he got into power. And he is someone who's responsible for a lot of people losing their lives. Israel was right not to trust this terrorist in a suit. He's ended the lives of over 2,000 civilians in less than 3 days. I did see a video here where it was live now from Fox. Hundreds killed in Syria. Clashes? They call them clashes. They're not clashes. They're people going into civilian villages, neighborhoods, and towns, and just rounding people up and abusing them and ending their lives. And the top part says hundreds, but below it says leaves more than 1,000 people. Okay, so it is a lot. I don't know the exact number, but it's a lot of people. A lot of people. And here we have the Trumpists put this up. Alawites, a Shia group is, let's see, I blocked half of that by accident. Russia was right. Wall Street, what is that, Mavens or Math? Russia was right to back Bashar al-Assad in Syria. He was keeping the country stable and protecting minority groups from Islamists. Biden and the neocons have funded the moderate Islamic rebels, moderate in quotes. They are now ending the lives of Christians, Druze, and Alawites. So that's a freeze frame, okay, because they were lining people up and just ending it. And that's a freeze frame from a video. You can't even show part of it. It's horrible. But now is the time where people have to hear about it and have to see it. Here is Islamic extremists are humiliating and mass executing minorities in Syria, and as the country descends into civil war. Those are people that are crawling and braying like donkeys or barking like dogs at their command. And at the end of it all, they still don't have their lives at the end. I have to be careful what I say. So I think this might be the end of it. I'll get to this in a minute. It's Andrew Tate, who I've already said was a cyber pimp. But I will say to folks in UK, take heed. This was put up today. Sky News Australia. Those of you who have been with me for a long time, remember I said Sky News Australia, not the one that says just Sky News. Sky News Australia put this video up, King Charles pandering to a Muslim community, quote, above all others. And there was some speculation. I put a thumbnail up of a video that King Charles has actually converted, or is toying with converting to the Muslim faith. Now, this is to clarify. Moderate Muslims, and I've talked about my friend in the past who has passed away, but was a good dear friend of mine who was Muslim, Americanized Muslim. These people that are committing these horrors are persecuting people like him. So it's not all Muslims, but there's a faction that needs to be eradicated, okay? Wiped off the face of the earth, in other words. So, yeah, that, I'm sure, is on Mr. T's list. Mr. T's list. So, I haven't had a chance to look at the chats too much. Let me see. Hi, Cosette. Nice to see you. Kicking Bird. Nice to see you. Miss Minder Sue. Thank you for coming by last night to buy me a coffee. And Gary also. And night before last. And Angela. I do appreciate you all helping out the other night. Very much at Buy Me a Coffee. I have a link for those of you who want to support the channel in the description, as this is a fully viewer-supported channel. I don't get anything from YouTube. Mike and Bev helped out. Bev and Mike helped out this evening and left me a message. They love listening and watching to my picture shows. They haven't missed one in a long time. They put me on TV, don't you know? I'm a star. Can only imagine all the effort it takes to put one of these together. Ha! It's true. It's true. You know, I hope you all understand when I put I might just put a picture of my Punisher skull up while I'm talking and nothing else, because it is time consuming. I appreciate Bev and Mike understanding that. For all I do and for everyone who watches, they thank me. Thank you, Mike and Bev. So I appreciate that. Hi, Cosette. It was the Saudis that started the Madras. Well, you mean the going to throw stones at Satan and the pilgrimage? Is that what you're talking about? Because let me tell you something. These characters that are going around committing these atrocities, if I were able to speak directly to them, I would say nobody likes you. Okay? And the Saudis do not like you. The Egyptians do not like you. The Jordanians do not like you. And this summit coming up, and where Trump has thrown down the gauntlet, but very gently. He more like he plucked the gauntlet over when he said, I sent him a letter saying I prefer to have peace. And in other words, don't make me do it. Don't make me put one upside your head, because that's where this is going. And he said, I want peace, you know. And they said no. But just like with Zelensky, he was told, you're out of cards. You're getting ready to lose everything. You better play ball. Well, they're all going to meet. Where are they going to meet? Saudi Arabia. What did I come up for my analysis of why Russia would be compelled to go along? My analysis was that the Saudis would drown them in oil. The Saudis have made their trillions. They gave Trump the sword dance. Trump said, Kofefe, I will stand. And they said that with him. They will stand with him. The sword dance acknowledges Trump as the leader. And they're going to do what Trump says, because Trump will drown the Saudis in oil. And he will not give them the assistance they will need in case these lunatics that are acting up in Syria turn around and come after the Saudis. And so Trump has got, as usual, all the cards. And I played a video where a Saudi prince told the Palestinians, I would rather have at my home a Jewish person as a guest than a Palestinian. Because these whack jobs that are launching missiles, digging tunnels, constantly assaulting people, carrying that radical banner of jihad. Nobody normal likes you. Okay. Speaking of nobody normal, these threats that I talked about the other day, and I played a couple of them, people kind of hinting around, that somebody needs to get at Donald Trump or Elon Musk. Well, this is a guy who got a visit from the Secret Service. I didn't copy his video. I ain't going to put it up. He just acts like a big shot. I heard he got arrested anyway. He went outside and told him, I didn't do anything. They're just picking on me. But then he went back in his house. But I heard they still locked him up. And somebody went to the White House today. Here it is. Man, SHOT by a Secret Service near the White House after an armed confrontation. What? Yeah. A man was SHOT by Secret Service officers early Sunday morning following an armed confrontation in the White House. The suspect, who traveled from Indiana, was identified as a potential you-know-what-a-sidal threat. About midnight, Secret Service discovered the suspect's parked car near 17th and F Streets before identifying him on foot. As officers approached, the suspect brandished a firearm, leading to an armed confrontation where the Secret Service fired shots. Now, I heard that he made it, he didn't pass away, but that he was sent to the hospital. I don't know. Have you all heard whether or not he's still around? Overall, it's radicalization. It's radicalization. And the poster boys right now are Trump and Elon. But Trump put out, he withheld $400 million from Columbia University. And they deported one guy. I don't know if this is going to end up in a lawsuit. This guy here. ABC News put it out like he'd been wronged. ICE arrests Palestinian activists with a green card at Columbia University, attorney says. The story on this was that he had an expired student visa, and ABC's, I think, of a mind that ICE has erred in arresting him because he, on top of the student visa, he had gotten a green card. And he's supposed to not be arrested when he has a green card as an illegal, okay? They talked here about his wife, Khalil is his last name, wife, who's 8 months pregnant and a U.S. citizen, was unable to find him at an ICE facility in Elizabeth, New Jersey, where he was purportedly transferred, according to his attorney, who added that he might have been transferred to Louisiana. I heard they got a bunch of money. I heard they live in a really nice luxury apartment. The alleged arrest occurred just days after Donald Trump took to social media threatening to defund universities that allow illegal protests and claiming, quote, agitators will be sent back to their home countries. So I told you all about an experience I had where somebody was jerking me around on so I can't get into too much detail about it. And I called him the mystery Mexican. And because he wouldn't give me the information he needed and all this stuff, put down a cash down payment, but wouldn't really identify too much about himself. And I was like, I'm not playing this game. I want to know who this guy is. And an American friend of mine that was a friend of his said, well, he wants to stay low profile because he's got a green card. He's allowed to be in the country. But he won a big settlement because when he was younger, he got deported when he shouldn't have been deported, and he won like $250,000 or something like that. And as I said in one of my past broadcasts, about 2 weeks after hearing that, he was detained in another state with close to 6 figures of cash in his trunk with a couple of other characters, and they pretended like they didn't know whose money it was. And so you get what was happening there, right? Somebody was trying to buy something illicit, okay, near the border with Mexico, and got busted. But anyway, I'm not really digressing. I'm pointing out there are people walking around that have been arrested by ICE that shouldn't really even be in this country, but they get attorneys. They find these little cracks, little technicalities, whatever. And a lot of these people get a lot of money from us. And then they stay in the country, and then they do something illegal. So there's a new sheriff in town, because even if this person, never mind a green card, if they became a citizen and then committed a criminal act, they could be stripped of their citizenship. But the old regime used to say, oh, poor babies, you got arrested and maybe you shouldn't have. Here's $250,000, here's $500,000. Come on back in the country. Those days are over. Those days are over, as I think this person's going to find out. What do they say, FAFO? Anyway. Here's one of the things they like to go on about. They, as part of their crippled offense against Donald Trump, eggs. And as we discussed earlier, 3-time felon. Garbage. Well, DOJ launches an antitrust investigation. Remember my last broadcast? What did I bring up? Antitrust laws. I said BlackRock might get busted up into a bunch of little black pebbles, just like Ma Bell, just like Standard Oil. Okay. Here it's being used to see that there's no price fixing over high egg prices. The Department of Justice has launched an antitrust investigation into the escalating egg prices, including whether large producers have conspired to raise prices or hold back supply. Now, if there's a conspiracy, it doesn't matter the reason. You know, it's just whether or not they're doing it. Could the reason be they're getting pressure from politicos to raise prices to damage Trump politically and slow down his ability to govern? Because it's not going to make them more money. Like I said, most Americans will find something besides eggs for breakfast till things settle down. You know what I'm saying? They'll have a bowl of cereal. They'll have some oatmeal with some bananas or raisins in it with butter and cinnamon. Doesn't that sound good? Grits. Did you ever have grits? Make it with some, put a little heavy cream in there when you're cooking them and get them all good and fluffy. Okay. Some real butter, no salt in the butter, and a little maple syrup in your hominy grits. Boy, that's something. So yeah. People aren't going to go out here and pay $12, $10, whatever the hell it is for a dozen eggs or $1 an egg. They're not going to do it. So whatever their reason is immaterial. If they're doing it for a corrupt purpose and they are conspiring to price fix. Price fixing in itself is unlawful. Speaking of unlawful, I don't know what's going to come of this, folks. The FBI has opened an investigation into Joe Biden's $1.6 million White House, quote, expense account. Was that annual? I don't know. Her expenses, none of her expenses can be accounted for. So, yeah, we can throw rocks too. We can look at what they're up to. Of course we can. Let me see. Let's get you go through some reports here before I get too far along in the studio. I'll put this one up I put up earlier. Many on all sides of the political spectrum are unhappy with Mario Lopez, I don't even know who that is, for embracing Andrew Tate at a UC event. I guess that should say UFC. I don't know. Yeah, Andrew Tate just walked in UFC 313. Mario Lopez was super excited. Well, I'm telling you what, I know Candace Owens, she does her podcast. A lot of people agree with her and all this kind of stuff. She left the Daily Wire to go out on her own. She goes to campuses. She puts up the good conservative points. But I tell you what, she went down a lot of clicks with me when she had this guy, this creep, on her podcast and was relating to him. He's a cyber pimp. He's in Florida, okay? He's been abusive to young women. He's trafficked young women. People have played montages of his own mouth talking about 15-year-olds, okay? And graphic discussions. He films himself. Anyway, he's under criminal investigation in Florida, and I think he's on the same level of trash as a lot of these other creators that have made the internet a sewer for young people. What's his name? I talked about the other night, Hassan Piker. He got suspended from Twitter. He actually said to KILL Rick Scott, a sitting senator, he said, if you don't like, so this is a paraphrase, how Medicare is being run. This is not a paraphrase. You should KILL Rick Scott. And on top of the other things I've discussed him saying, okay, people like that need to be made an example of. Putting up pro-Hamas videos, playing them, dancing around, singing, holding rifles, singing songs that say KILL Americans, KILL Jewish people, and pretending like he's watching a musical. No. And these platforms like Twitch should be punished also. A lot of kids go on these sites. A lot of kids. You know, isn't it disgusting that your 12-year-old might know who Andrew Tate is and what he does? That shouldn't even be in the picture. Here we go. Another incident targeting a church in France. The Church of Santa Teresa has suffered severe damage, with the statue of Madonna being vandalized. Reports indicate that a group of Afghan migrants may be responsible for the attack. So, yeah, like Trump says, you better get smart. You better get smart and you better do it fast. And he said, I don't want America to end up like Europe. He said that in one of his truths the other day. I don't want America to end up like Europe. What's Diamond Silk got? They got a couple of things that came out today. Since President Trump was inaugurated on January 20th, NORAD has responded to over 20 tracks of interest. I talked about this the other day. There has been some more since entering the Palm Beach temporary flight restriction area. NORAD intercepts multiple planes over Mar-a-Lago, raises alert. F-16 fighters have been scrambled to intercept multiple aircraft that have breached the airspace around President Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate. So, private pilots, you better brush up. You better update your nav charts. You better start looking at notifications before you go up there and fly around. And I would bet dollars to donuts that there are some practice runs by people playing innocent and playing dumb. So, anyway, it's a hairy time. We're in a hairy time. We'll see how it turns out. There was another plane crash, a small plane crash. And that was, again, we're going to hear, oh, it's Trump with his cuts to the FAA. This has to do with their weak counteroffensive against Trump, where they dream up every little thing, egg prices, plane crashes, all the old lies lumped in together. What's the latest one I saw? A reporter asked Trump about it, and then I saw a TikTok about it. Or might not have been TikTok. It might have been a short. Let me see if I can find it. You'll never guess what they're gearing up for, and Trump's not taking the bait. Let me see if I can find it. Well, if I come across it, I'll put it up. They're talking about Derek Chauvin putting up videos. Is Trump going to pardon Derek Chauvin? Remember St. George Floyd that they all burned down cities over? That's what they're going to come up with next. Here's how they tried to defend Al Green right here. Can you spot the difference? Now this impact, bunch of creeps. Two Greens did the same thing, but only the black one was punished. Some guy named Covey. Yeah, well, I put in there that Marjorie Taylor Greene sat down when she was told. The greasy pimp with a fake pimp cane didn't. And I saw is Sky News Australia that does Lefties Losing It, right? She put up a video today, and she used the term pimp cane. Ha ha ha! The young lady that does the Lefties Losing It. She said he was up there with his pimp cane. I said, that's catching on. Good. We got to push it. U.S. Donald Trump reining in Elon Musk. This is BBC News putting together something false. Is Donald Trump reining in Elon Musk after a cabinet showdown? Trump came out within minutes after that accusation, after the meeting itself, and said it was a total lie. BBC News is putting out this propaganda right here. BBC News. And we know they've been getting money from USAID, right? From USAID. Speaking of Mr. T, here we go. Here's where Trump put it out on Truth. Elon and Marco have a great relationship. Any statement other than that is fake news, DJT. So BBC News, I'll play Tom Homan. I don't give a you-know-what. They have been putting out stuff. Some of it's funny, but it gets on people's nerves after a while. They're making fun of J.D. Vance. So they take his face and they use AI and they put it on different things. This is Midwest Safety's Community. put it up. And they've had him on all kinds of different pictures, Willy Wonka and all kinds. And conservatives come back by making him as Abe Lincoln, George Washington, presidents, you know. And, well, I tell you what. The other thing, Trump came out with something to kind of counteract that. Where is it? Here we go. There we go. Ha, ha, ha. They want to play that face melding business. Here you go. Ha, ha. The king, Ellis. So, and I don't know. I don't think it's a big deal. I think I put in the comments, they just can't get over his eyes. That's what it is. They're just infatuated with JD's eyes. But then somebody put out one about what's her name? Crockett? Jasmine Crockett. Y'all ready for this? Wait a second. There you go. There's Jasmine Crockett. So they want to play around with memes and making fun of people. A lot of them we don't have to alter. We don't have to do anything to. There's Jasmine. We don't have to alter them, but let's see. Wait a second. It's like this one here. What was my thumbnail? How big of a conspiracy theorist are you? Me. They want to start making fun of people's faces. We can go down that road all they want. I thought I had one with all of them up there. Where did it go? Oh, I'll get it in another broadcast. A meme with all the freaks. Somebody showed me a video where they said Batman's enemies are plotting against him, and it had all the creeps in Congress. Yeah, you don't have to edit Maxine Waters' picture. You just put it up there. Here, let's see. This video here. Have you all heard about this going on up north in the Hamptons? A brush fire. We looking at another land grab of high-end property? This is up in Long Island. Brush fires. I don't know. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Well, they got their boogeyman stuff going on. Here's I got a clip of JD Vance. Speaking of JD, they're putting memes out about him, goofball memes. He got accosted by a bunch of freaks when he was walking his daughter, his 3-year-old daughter. Now, he had Secret Service with him, but let me see if I can get to where a picture shows up here on the screen. Wait a second. Okay, see that green? It looks like a green Statue of Liberty. This JD posted this video because he's saying, look, I was trying to talk to these people, and most of them agreed with me. But at least he's showing he's trying to communicate. Every single one of these people are crazy cat ladies that probably smell like a 6-month-old litter box. And following him around with his daughter. I mean, I wish the Secret Service would have just run them all off or done something. I don't know. But he tried to work with them.
forcing both the Russians and the Ukrainians.
Russia won't settle.
Exactly. They certainly invaded Ukraine in 2022. But there needs to be a settlement. Ma'am?
They are the aggressor every time.
Ma'am, I understand that that's your view, and certainly they have, and certainly I have condemned, ma'am, please, you're interrupting. I'm speaking with you, and I'm trying to be respectful. I have condemned the invasion, but I've also condemned the perpetual. That is the policy of the administration. And I've talked to you guys now.
Now I've talked to you. Now get lost is what he was trying nicely to say. But he came out later and said, today while walking my 3-year-old daughter, a group of Slava Ukrainia protesters followed us around and shouted as my daughter grew increasingly anxious and scared. I decided to speak with the protesters in the hopes I could trade a few minutes of conversation for them, leaving my toddler alone. Nearly all of them agreed. It was a mostly respectful conversation, but if you're chasing a 3-year-old as part of a political protest, excuse me, folks, I'll say it, you're a shit person. And yeah, that's exactly right. And all those old bats ought to be ashamed of themselves. All they do is prove the old adage. Well, I won't get into it. About old bats, I'll put it that way. Crazy old bats. Sigmund Freud. So, I've got some clips that came out kind of in a flurry of Donald Trump because he was on Maria Bartiromo show, and I'll play them in a bit, but I'm going to show you all some clips from what's going on. Since they were Slava Ukrainia going after a 3-year-old, I've got some stories and video about what's going on in Slava Ukraine. So I'll start with this one. Zelensky took money from us, the U.S., under Biden with the same ease as candy from a child, Trump told Fox News. This is getting reported over in Ruski land, okay? No one threatened to disconnect Ukraine from Starlink, Marco Rubio said, and say thank you because without Starlink, Ukraine would have lost this war long ago and the Russians would now be on the border with Poland, the Secretary of State emphasized. Here, what's this one? Clandestine came out. U.S. and Ukrainian officials are scheduled to meet in Saudi Arabia this week to restart negotiations. Trump is making it clear to Zelensky that there will be no aid or intelligence and that Zelensky needs to step down, hold elections, and Russia will be keeping territory. Trump is not letting Zelensky sign a deal and then continue to hold Ukraine hostage and restart the money laundering operation. Trump knows Zelensky is a deep state puppet. Trump is going to force Zelensky to step down so Ukraine can actually be a sovereign nation and no longer a proxy of the deep state. This is a very promising sign. So, those crazy people need to read stuff like that and pay attention to what's going on. Where did Wuhan lab, okay, Ukraine labs, the entire Ukrainian front will collapse if I turn off my Starlink systems, Elon Musk said. Musk also said that the key to resolving the conflict in Ukraine could be the introduction of sanctions against Ukrainian oligarchs. Impose sanctions on the 10 largest Ukrainian oligarchs, especially those who have mansions in Monaco. And this will stop immediately, he wrote on the social network X. Well, you don't have to tell Trump twice. That may very well. You see those young men in those foxholes getting blown up. I've shown videos, and I said, imagine your nephew or your own son, 20 years old. And these high money people and politicians could give a damn. So anyway, this is what's going on over the Kursk region. The Ruskies are pushing in and pushing them out big time. Judging by fragmentary information, the offensive on the Syrian is being carried out from at least two directions. In the area of, I can't say those names, the enemy claims that the Russian armed forces once again used some kind of a pipe to reach the rear of Ukrainian units, and was previously the case near Avdiivka. But so far, there's no confirmation of this information. Well, it has been confirmed. And those of you who have been with me for a long time will remember the Battle of Mariupol 3 years ago, when there was a Canadian general. Do you all remember that? A Canadian general who had gotten into an S3X scandal while he was still in his commission as a general, and he resigned. Well, next thing, he's commanding brigades in Ukraine, I guess, as a mercenary. He was trapped in Mariupol in a factory right down near the Black Sea. There was an operation that had SEALs. Ukrainian SEALs were intercepted coming on the shore about a half a mile from this industrial plant. I said then, they're probably trying to escape through pipes. I said these industrial facilities, I had a friend who owned an industrial park. They would run pipes for steam. They would run pipes for oil. And you could crouch down and walk in them. I said that 3 years ago. And I said that's probably how they're trying to escape. A discharge pipe or intake pipe for seawater or something. And so here you have, considering the growing problems of the Ukrainian armed forces with logistics, it's difficult to choose a more convenient moment for an offense. So I got video of them going in the pipes. I'll play it in a second. Pipes were indeed used to penetrate Syrian. Enemy publications and observers write. According to the Ukrainian Prava and whoever these people are, the Russian armed forces used a gas pipeline to covertly transport an assault company of about 100 people to covertly penetrate the defensive lines of Ukrainian armed forces in the vicinity of Syrian. Probably we're talking about the underground section of whatever the heck it is, gas pipeline, which goes through Syrian. Gas will pump through it until January 1st, 2025, and the diameter of the pipes can reach 1.5 meters. That's about a little under 4 feet, I think. So I got pictures of these guys, these kind of special forces guys that Russia put out, pictures of the insides of the pipes. And this was a big deal because you see him wearing a full face mask there. It's a big deal because it's broke the back of the offense in the Kursk region. That is Russian territory. I think that one of my videos is kind of funny because it contradicts this guy in the mask. Let's see, you see the end of the pipe way down there. Way down. Here we go. Let me see, where's my video of guys cutting through the pipe? I had a video of them actually using torches to cut through the pipe, but I didn't put it up. And y'all will think I'm funning you if I tell you why. But this was a month ago. I had pictures, video of these guys using torches cut into these pipes, but I didn't play them. Anyway, here we go.
Ёбаный в рот, ну что скажете, пацаны, где мы нахуй? В трубе, сука! Труба куда ведет? На суджу нахуй, это же ёбнуться! Никогда бы не подумал, 12 километров по трубе, сука, воду несу, ебать. Чё там, пробка не пропускает или что случилось? Хна, что скажешь, братан, ебать?
Привет.
Ебать, это пизда, ебать, нахуй, вот так вот и идем. Ебануться, вы что творите, пацаны, нахуй? Что, блядь, происходит вообще? Видела моя малышка? Выйду, покажу потом. Офигеет. Куда? Да, все нормально, я там, малышка, иду, блядь.
I don't know if you all understand any of that, but
Суржу под трубой, 12 километров, а так все нормально.
I think this video here is kind of shows you why I was laughing at that guy wearing that mask. I'll tell you why in a second if it's not what I think it is. But you might get it once you see it. Oh, this is them using shopping carts to bring food. And supplies and stuff. I didn't upload the video, but they were sitting there smoking cigarettes. And I'm laughing because, well, I was laughing about it because they had those masks on and everything. But, and they were running gas through there just a couple of months ago. And I guess after so many trips and testing the air, they found there was nothing there. So they sitting around smoking cigarettes and chit-chatting. I'm like, man, that's scary. That's right, Bill. Well, no, I saw this. They have they put up the schematics of the gas company pipelines now that the operation has been completed. That's why I didn't put the video up of them actually torching through. I could go back and find it, prove it to you all. But it's just like Storm Shadow. I talked about that a while back. I still think even though they've cut off the logistics, they're going to try to launch a Storm Shadow. But yeah, you can get inside information. Anybody can get inside information. But anyway, here, I might as well play this one for you. Speaking of nothing is as it seems. Who's that? Who's that? Julian Assange. Do you think I'll get in trouble for playing his video? He only talked for a minute. You know, do you think they'll take me down for putting this up?
CIA drew up plans to kidnap and to assassinate me within the Ecuadorian embassy in London and authorized going after my European colleagues, subjecting us to theft, hacking attacks, and the planting of false information. My wife and my infant son were also targeted. A CIA asset was permanently assigned to track my wife, and instructions were given to obtain DNA from my 6-month-old son's nappy. The criminalization of news-gathering activities is a threat to investigative journalism everywhere. I was formally convicted by a foreign power for asking for, receiving, and publishing truthful information about that power while I was in Europe. Journalists should not be prosecuted for doing their jobs. Journalism is not a crime. It is a pillar of a free and informed society.
Well, all the crazy cat ladies can chase 3-year-old kids and complain, but we got all this other stuff going on. Whoa, that was Elon. He was going to tell us something about that we've known for a long time, but he's on this character show, Joe Foul-Mouth Rogan, but at least he's getting the word out that we've known for a long time about George Soros.
It's kind of a hack to the system where, you know, someone can get an NGO stood up for a fairly small amount of money. Like George Soros is really good at this. Like George Soros is like a system hacker. Like he figured out how to hack the system. He's a genius at arbitrage. I mean, these days he's pretty old, but a genius at arbitrage. So he figured out that you could leverage a small amount of money to create a nonprofit, then lobby the politicians to send a ton of money to that nonprofit, so you can take what might be, you know, a $10 million donation to a nonprofit to create a nonprofit and leverage that into a $1 billion NGO. And a nonprofit is a weird word. It's just a non-governmental organization, and then the government continues to fund that every year, and it'll have a nice sounding name like the Institute for Peace or something like that. But really, it's a graft machine.
And what are their requirements with that money? What do they have to do?
Just really no requirements at all.
So they just get grants and the government just assumes that they're doing good work.
I think a lot of people in the government know that they're not doing good work, but it's a giant graft machine.
It says graph as in a drawing. It's actually G-R-A-F-T, graft, where they steal. And yeah, all you got to do is say, I'm a nonprofit do-gooder, and give me money. And they give them money. But the American people are getting wise to it. Here's a creep Democrat that was on C-SPAN. And I tell you this, a Rhode Island congressman, Gabe Amo, refused to stand for a 13-year-old cancer survivor. And this guy called up. He said, look, I've been a Democrat all my life. You could tell he was mad. He got his glasses all fogged up and everything. He was mad. But this is the kind of stuff they're hearing from their constituents on C-SPAN live in front of people.
Do you have to do a mental health evaluation? Because I'll tell you, looking at what you disrespectful, not standing up for that kid the other day who survived cancer and all those angel moms. I was a Democrat from Massachusetts. Pocahontas' home state. I travel the country now, and I went to where woke dies, Florida, and you have lost the people. Let me tell you, I travel the country. Your message is not resonating, okay? You're transgender, and you represent a small minority. And what you did with those paddles the other night and everything else and not standing up is disgusting.
Okay.
And I don't know how.
Thanks, John. They cut him off real quick. He was going on a rant that they're disgusting. Here is a dopey broad. Now, this is the kind of person that I think they're doing soft. They think they're doing soft terror, ism. Terror and then ism. They have a Tesla takedown. You'll hear this nerd talking to her, says, well, tell me about the Tesla takedown. Oh, we don't want to take down Tesla. Not necessarily. That's not what we're talking about. But listen to her. She is organizing this crap that's going on where they're burning down Tesla stores, vandalizing Tesla cars, on and on and on. But she makes it seem like they're just doing something noble.
Val, maybe we could start off with a little bit of, can you just actually tell us what Tesla Takedown is? Or is it's not Takedown Tesla, it's Tesla Takedown.
Tesla Takedown. Yeah, there's a website called TeslaTakedown.com, which is a website you can go to, get some background on the campaign. And it essentially is a map where anybody in the world can put an action up for targeting Tesla. And so I've been involved in that campaign, and in particular, planning actions in the Seattle area targeting Tesla.
In Tesla Takedown, there's a spirit out there, which had already, as we saw with Luigi Mangione, there's a spirit which is very anti-corporate, very anti-billionaire, very anti sort of elite. And Tesla Takedown is also tapping into some of that spirit as well.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I would say it's just what I've noticed being involved in organizing in the Seattle area for some time, especially after the election and the inauguration. People were like, what do? We don't want to just waste our energy protesting for the sake of protesting. And especially in Seattle, and I would say on the West Coast, I'm sure it's true of many places, we're really far from the center of power in government. And I think as it became clear that Elon Musk was taking on this outsized role at the federal level, totally, I would say, criminal role nationally, we're like, oh, wait, like we can target Elon here because his company, the source of the majority of his wealth, has numerous locations in the Seattle area, and ultimately money talks. And we've planned, whether it was troublemakers or partners that we've been working with over the last few weeks, have planned multiple actions at.
So this nauseating thing on the screen says she's got contacts all around the world where people can make a statement like they're exercising some civil right, that Elon Musk is committing criminal activity because he's overseeing a lawful entity. They just renamed it to Doge. Okay, it's on the books. It's statutory that they can do this stuff. And this clown that's interviewing her sits there and says, well, we don't want to do a Tesla takedown. We're not taking down Tesla. It's a Tesla takedown. Like that's a difference. You say take down Tesla. Oh, no, I just said Tesla takedown. What the hell are you talking about? And he even brings up Luigi Mangione's name. What does that intimate? So both of these clowns are sitting there trying to soft pedal what they're actually pushing is for violence against Tesla and people driving Teslas. And you know, what the hell is it with these morons? They were all for electric cars, against gas, stop oil. Here we go. Stop climate change. They changed the chip in their head. Stop electric vehicle man. So, you know, they're upside down here. Here, RT News. They can't stand that Russian television. Citizen Free Press put this up. U.S. Department of Agriculture kills $600,000 study on menstrual cycles in trans men. And look at this idiot sitting on a park bench. Periods are not just for women. Who knows what you're looking at there? Here you go. Here's what we're creating in colleges. I'm in lifelong debt, addicted to prawn, and can't change a tire. That's what we're paying billions of dollars for to these colleges, so-called colleges. Well, I'm sure they have plenty of places other than USAID to get their money. But follow the gift cards, because that's what they're going to be using now. Oh, I had one more video from Ruski Land. I want to show you all this one. Shows you how. Now, I hope I don't know if this got music or not. Oh, I meant to take the music out of this. Oh, well, this is a really good one. This is showing how much control they have over these drones. This drone is going around a very well defended, I think it's a Leopard tank, and it's got this netting around, anti-drone netting, and it goes all the way around in a circle. I'll play it, and if I get in trouble, I'll get in trouble, I guess. No, it was a supply truck. Yeah, the other one I did was a tank, but this is a supply truck. They went all the way around and they found a little opening in the door, and that's where they went in at. But the one with the tank, they went around in a circle and then they left. And the reason for that is these things have GPSs on them, and they can map out the coordinates of that circle. And all they got to do is send something that's guided right to the center of the coordinates, right in the middle of that circle. So, yeah, it's pretty advanced. Anyway, I got a video here I'm going to interrupt a few times. This business, first they were for electric cars, now and there's stop oil and all this crap. It all comes from this climate change cult. This I guess it's a religion. You could fairly say it's a religion. And John Stossel does a story about this one character that I remember hearing about him. I mean, back in the 40 years ago. I mean, back in the 80s, if not the 70s. I can't say 70s for sure. But anyway, this is how they brainwash people, and they've been doing it.
Have you heard? The world's about to end.
We are in the beginning of a mass extinction.
Throughout history, people predicted the end of humanity. This month, 60 Minutes was on the case.
You seem to be saying that humanity is not sustainable.
No, humanity is not sustainable.
Bizarrely, they featured this man, who has always predicted doom.
We are very close to a famine disaster in the United States.
Why would they treat him like an expert?
Paul Ehrlich may have lived long enough to see some of his dire prophecies come true.
But his dire prophecies, again and again, turn out to be wrong.
In the next 15 years, the end will come. And by the end, I mean an utter breakdown of the capacity of the planet to support humanity.
His bestseller, which sold an amazing 3 million copies, said nothing can prevent a substantial increase in the world death rate. That was comically wrong. Today, there are 4 billion more people. The death rate fell dramatically.
Too many people, too much consumption.
60 Minutes did mention that Ehrlich was wrong about widespread starvation, but they take him seriously, never mentioning his other ridiculous predictions, like his claim that by the year 2000, England will not exist because of climate change. But England's still here. Instead of interviewing doomsayers like Ehrlich, 60 Minutes should talk to...
He's the guru that recruited people psychologically, like Ted Turner, who many people suspect of putting up the Georgia Guidestones, and Bill Gates, who says we need to depopulate the human race by using the JAB, right? This is the guy that recruited them, all right? This old fart you're watching.
Marian Tupy, the creator of humanprogress.org.
Everybody is getting richer and longer living, and life is getting better.
It is. The modern era has brought much longer lives and the greatest decline in poverty ever. Young activists think capitalists are destroying the earth.
Millions of people are dying.
People are throwing paint at works of art or blocking traffic.
They believe it's the moral thing to do because experts like Ehrlich scare them. Paul Ehrlich wouldn't talk to me for this video, but 7 years ago he did talk to us. He said, well, when you predict the future, you get things wrong.
It's very difficult for me to picture things holding together for more than another decade.
He's wrong about everything, but they invite him back. They love this stuff.
If you sell the apocalypse, people feel like you are deep and that you care. But if you are selling rational optimism, you sound uncaring.
Uncaring?
Childbearing is herewith forbidden.
It's the doomsayers who are uncaring.
You have to get the death rate and birth rate in balance, and there's only two ways to do it. One is to bring the birth rate down, the other is to push the death rate up.
Ehrlich even suggested that government should sterilize people to prevent the population from rising.
Paul Ehrlich always sees human beings as a problem, destroyers, rather than creators. He thinks that human beings are no different to rats or rabbits. When we consume all the grass around us, our population explodes, and then it's going to collapse. But human beings are fundamentally different. We have the capacity to innovate.
Marian Tupy is the anti-Ehrlich. His new book, Superabundance, shows more people are good for humanity.
And the environment.
It's like Ayn Rand. She was writing books in the 1940s and 50s. Ayn Rand, A-Y-N-R-A-N-D. She, back in the day then, they were trying to scare people by saying the sun was going to burn out. And of course, we've seen how Leonard Nimoy went from that to saying there was going to be an ice age. And I was waiting for them to get to Al Gore, who made millions of dollars through, where did he get the millions of dollars from? The federal government, the education system, selling that goofball movie, Earth in the Balance. But anyway, I'll let it keep going.
Counterintuitive to think that more people can be good for the environment because the people will buy cars and they need housing. We use stuff.
We use stuff, but we also grow stuff. What matters is new knowledge. Think about something as simple as sand. When we started melting down sand to create glass, we used the first glass for glass beads or jars. But now we are using glass in fiber optic cables and microchips.
Similar innovation in farming, transportation, genetic engineering is why our growing population won't destroy nature. But we're told we're destroying forests.
Looks like a disease across the planet. Boom, there goes the forest.
Nonsense. Forests have grown by 35% in North America and Western Europe in the last 20 years.
Grown because people found ways to produce more food on less land. And prosperous countries can afford to protect nature. But the idea that human innovation is helping nature isn't as popular as doomsayers' claims.
This universe is finite, its resources finite. If life is left unchecked, life will cease to exist.
When Ehrlich's book became popular, Thanos, a comic book character, was introduced.
By killing 50% of all living things in the universe, he will allow the other half to live on.
In the year 2022, nothing runs anymore.
That same year, we also got the movie Soylent Green.
The population of the United States has run out of food, and so every time a human being dies, he or she is converted into a biscuit called Soylent Green.
Step right up. Soylent Green. Soylent Green right here.
That's then fed to people.
You gotta tell them Soylent Green is people! Now we're past 2022, and we're...
That was Charlton Heston. Charlton Heston, and the other big name that played in the movie Soylent Green was Edward G. Robinson. He's the one that's laying on a cot, listening to beautiful music, getting ready to be turned into food. Okay, and this was 1973. We're all supposed to be done by 2022.
We're still not eating each other. Nevertheless, ignorant doomsayers still want us to panic.
I want you to feel the fear I feel every day.
Many young people have been so misled, they're afraid to have kids. But that would hurt the world.
The biggest problem the world will face in 20 years is population collapse.
That's a bigger problem. Fewer women have babies today. But we need young people to provide the innovation that will solve the Earth's problems. If fewer people have babies, the child who might grow up to cure cancer or develop a miracle battery may never be born. But more people by itself is not enough to get all this innovation.
It is certainly not. If the number of people was all that mattered, China would have been the richest country for centuries. But in fact, what you need is people and freedom. If you let human beings be free, they are going to create more value for everyone.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Yeah, so that was a little thing from John Stossel, and I'm glad he's putting out stuff like that. Yeah, but have you heard that statistics that 35%, the force actually increased by 35%? They're putting out garbage in the news and scaring people on purpose. And we got to see, we got a little time for Mr. T to put out some stuff to make that kind of operation illegal. I just mentioned a few things that you all have witnessed in your lifetime with the garbage that they put out to scare people. Remember in the 90s, kids coming home from school saying, we're all going to be gone in 10 years. So they changed it from doing that to our kids to what I showed you earlier, sitting on a bench there. They do that to your kids, okay? So, yeah, the biggest mistake we ever made was giving the government control over teaching our kids. Speaking of, here you go. Here's a slush fund. That print's kind of small, but AOC got dance lessons on 12/13/24 from the Bombazo Dance Company and made the U.S. taxpayer cover $850 bill for that training. On the same day, there was a $3,700 paid to Juan D. Gonzalez for more training. On 9/18/24, she spent $3,384 for food at Taco Bamba. So they do dance lessons. You and I are footing a bill for this big taco party and training on how to dance. What was it? What's that? It's almost $10,000. And just one thing they've dug up, and they're only getting started. AOC pretends to be for the working American, but what she's really doing is wasting tax dollars so she can dance and throw parties. So, yeah, wait till we start getting into this stuff. They made Trump turn in his taxes. They're going to have to turn in their paperwork. Not just his taxes. They went through all his business records for businesses he was associated with, that his children were associated with. So, and the courts made him do it. So that sets a precedence, because the way they do their taxes, it looks so innocent and innocuous. But when you can dig into paperwork, and that's what they did to Mr. T, so we can dig in their paperwork. Hi, Miss Mindersuit. Thank you for helping out with Buy Me a Coffee. I appreciate it. I'm glad it was able to work out for you. Finally. You had to try a couple of times. Civil War, AOC aide to challenge Nancy Pelosi for her seat, Diamond Silk reports. Ongoing civil war for the soul of the Democratic Party has finally come to Nancy Pelosi. I can't believe she's running again. My God. But hey, if she lets go of the power, especially under a Trump regime, she's going to be extremely vulnerable, right? But that's all they live for, is power and money and power and money. They think they're going to go forever. The former U.S. House Speaker's seat, San Francisco District, will play host to an ideological battle. What battle? There isn't 10 cents worth of dirty ice between any of them, in my book. Well, remember I said that we're never going to forgive those senators. Those 10 senators, they might as well just jump ship, resign, or hope the Republican Party will accept you, which I would really eye up every one of them. Any of them, any Democrat from now on that wants to join the Republican Party should go through a thorough audit. Okay, oh snap. Fundraising giant Act Blue on brink of implosion. Amid investigations, resignations, Act Blue, the dominant fundraising platform for Democrat candidates, is experiencing unprecedented turbulence as its leadership resignations and Republican-led investigations put its future in question. Oh yeah, there are rats jumping out of the ship. Here you go. This would be a good one to put up on Facebook. Just leave it there. Just leave it. I'll just leave this right here. Look, son, the people who want to castrate kids think Trump and Elon are going too far. They're going too far. Oh, this is what I wanted to put up after that video. Why isn't China concerned about climate change? Because they already have a communist government. Bert and Ernie. Now here's what I don't know what to make of this. They say that the first arrest will shock the world. Hell, at this point, any arrest would shock us. But I've been over that before. If you put in the 17 search bar, shock the world, that's not what it really says. It says the first arrest will cause a mass awakening and show the future direction. Show the first future direction. So, but anyway, we are getting impatient. We want to see some heads roll. We want to see some heads roll. I still think we're going to get it. Oh, this is a good one. Sean Daniel put this up. I thought it was funny. It's a victory. Government workers are PO'd at Trump. The Trump administration initially planned to completely abolish government-issued credit cards for civilian employees as part of a sweeping effort to eliminate wasteful spending. However, a federal judge blocked the full cancellation, ruling the government could not outright revoke these cards due to existing contractual obligations and operational needs. Oh, my God. In response, Trump and his administration found a loophole. And instead of canceling the cards outright, they set the spending limit to just $1, effectively making them useless for unnecessary expenses while still complying with the ruling. Ha, ha, ha. This move ensured that taxpayers' dollars wouldn't be wasted while also outmaneuvering legal obstacles put in place by bureaucrats and activist judges. Trump stops government waste $1 at a time. He's doing more than $1. So here's part of their offense against Trump. This goofball outfit here, Political Voices Network. They're on the same level as Midas Trash Network. Whoops. Trump could finally get the karma he deserves. George Conway. There's George Conway crossing his arms, looking at the camera like, ah. What, they got 24,000 views? Well, I put a comment in there. See what these idiots are saying? Lightning, because I'm in favor of lightning, about Trump getting hit by lightning. Please tell me, what is the cost to put up a billboard's sign of different words about the old Trump, about the old geezer Trump in different states, especially Texas and the other red states? What kind of idiotic comment is that? Who cares about the cost? If they get the money to do it, they'll do it. But they can't get the money anymore. And the other one says, ooh, Tracy Power, register to vote. Make sure your name has not been purged from the list. I put up there, Trump quote, the perverts at Lincoln Project. He usually says things for a reason. And you figure you would get some kind of comment or some nothing. So I'm sure they just blast me out to nowhere. But Conway, the little hobbit, I'm sure there's stuff in his closet. I'm sure of that. What's this? Now put this one up here. Let me see. President Donald Trump is very serious with his ultimatum for Hamas to release all the remaining hostages. If that doesn't happen, they might get to meet certain members of our very special forces. A retired U.S. Air Force Brigadier General Blaine Holt said on Newsmax. He's not bluffing on Hamas threat. So, like I said, they're going to meet in Saudi Arabia, where Hamas, nobody likes you. Okay? Trump doesn't like you. The Saudis don't like you. We got all the oil, all the BOMBs. Oh, my gosh. 14-year-old boy has been arrested and charged with a double red rum in the death of a police officer in Newark, New Jersey, after shots were exchanged between police and a group on Friday night. Joseph Azcana, a 5-year veteran, shot during the incident, pronounced dead. Isn't that awful? Even though it's a minor, I understood that he didn't survive. We still need to know what's the story of this person. What's their story? I think I got a video on that. This might be it right here. Let me see. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Let me see if this tells us anything. Were they even supposed to be in this country? I'm talking about the parents.
Just how this all unfolded. Now, right now, we can confirm that 2 Newark police officers have been shot, according to the Essex County Prosecutor's Office. Sources tell us one cop was shot in the head, the other in the leg. Investigators say the shooting happened in the area of Carteret Street and Broadway around 6:37 p.m., and both officers were taken to a local hospital. Again, sources say one of those officers have died at this hour. The other officer's condition is unknown. Sources tell us the 14-year-old fired 29 shots, which were recorded on ShotSpotter. We're also hearing from sources that the cop who died is a detective in the intelligence unit.
Yeah, so the suspect was taken out too. Suspect was taken out too. Here, they're putting this video up. They're putting this video up, liberals are, to make people feel sorry for people getting arrested by ICE. This is what they're posting. Look at this poor man in a truck being treated so badly by ICE.
Open the door. Police, open the door. Yeah, okay. Open the door. Window. Open the door. Abre la puerta. ¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué hicimos? Abre la puerta. ¿Qué hicimos? ¿Qué hicimos? Somos con la policía. Abre la puerta ahorita. ¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué pasó? No estamos haciendo nada. No, ahorita. Abre la puerta ahorita. Okay. Abre la puerta. Policía. ¿Todo bien? ¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué hicimos? Abre la puerta. No tengo miedo. No, nada. No tengo miedo. Open the door now. No, tenemos miedo. Open the door. No, tenemos miedo. Open the door. ¿Qué hicimos? Yo tengo miedo. ¿Qué hicimos? No te muevas, cabrón. No, no estamos haciendo. No estamos haciendo nada. No estamos haciendo nada. ¿Qué hicimos? Give me some ID. What's your name?
Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? You could just go to another country and disobey orders of a police officer and just sit in your truck and you're a victim, right? You're a victim. You're an American citizen. Do that, you'd already be out and on the ground.
Look at me. No te muevas. ¿Qué hicimos? No. ¿Qué hicimos? Police. Hey, deje, tío. ¿Qué hicimos? ¿Qué hicimos? Mira, no estamos haciendo nada, no estamos haciendo nada, no estamos haciendo nada. Así lo están tratando, no estamos haciendo nada. Mire, a la puerta no está bajando, ¿ves? Déjelo, tío, déjelo, tío, déjelo, tío. No estamos haciendo nada. No, mire, nos están agrediendo. Nos están agrediendo.
Open the door. Hey, apague el motor. Open the door.
Ya estamos obedeciendo.
Hey, open the door right now. Open the door.
Mira,
Open the door. You're going to get tased. Abra la puerta.
No, tengo miedo.
Here, I'm going to go in.
Tengo miedo, nos están apuntando, no traemos armas ni nada.
Get out of the car.
What's funny about it is they're trying to use this video to garner sympathy, but look who put the video up. RT, Russian television. That's what they were hollering about for censorship for the last 4 or 5 years. Now they're using their footage. And hey, as far as I'm concerned, how many times you got to yell open the door before you can just go ahead and give them a wood shampoo is what I want to know. Time for a wood shampoo. Or tase them. Something like, you don't got to put up with that crap. But I want to know who's paying for this stuff here. This is, guess where this is? And look it up in the corner, RT. Oh, now they're allowing us to use that, right? For their propaganda. This is the largest Ukrainian flag in the world, supposedly.
Touching the ground.
Ukraine deserves a just and long-lasting peace with strong security guarantees. A just peace for Ukraine.
How many of them are here on temporary visas? How many in that crowd are not supposed to be in this country or have sworn citizenship to this country and violating their oath? How many of these people would normally be counted as a federal worker, but really don't even have to go to work? This is in front of the White House, within eyeshot of the White House. Because it sure in hell isn't Americans that got to go to work every day. Somebody paid for this crap. So here's some creeps that have got themselves all worked up over Tesla. This guy vandalized the guy's Tesla and got caught. And he's flying a Palestinian flag on his bike. But listen to how arrogant they are.
Listen to me.
Why did you put that in the car? What do you think that means? I don't care.
Why do you think they have the right to do that?
It's my free speech.
Free speech not on your car?
Oh.
Yeah? That doesn't matter. It's not up to you to decide anything.
To do what?
To put a sticker on other people's car.
Is it? Yeah, of course. Then take it off. Take it off. You guys.
Yeah.
You guys can get a better car if you can afford that car.
It's not up to you to say anything.
I guess we have a difference of opinion.
Yeah, that'd been me. He'd have been picking his rear end off the ground. He'd have been picking his rear end right off the ground. Here's a Tesla where they're going in and occupying. And I believe this is in New York. And I don't know if anybody even got arrested or not. Let me see. Well, I tell you what, Trump put out a bunch of clips, and one of them, he says, "I don't think it matter. Anything that I do doesn't matter with these people." When he was talking to Maria Bartiromo, let me see if this is the one. It might not be the right one, but I need to play these Trump clips anyway, because Trump put them up on Truth Social, and he's trying to get his words out. And so let's see if this is the one.
Well, I want a dynamic country where the private enterprise carries the day, not the government. And I want a strong country militarily. We need that nowadays. You can see that probably better than ever before. So I rebuilt our military. A lot of it was given away to Afghanistan, but it was a lot, but a very small portion, in all fairness. But when you think about the billions and billions of dollars that was just handed over, but I rebuilt it. We're going to be rebuilding it again because we need that. We always need that. But we're doing a series of incentives, tax incentives and other things. The tax bill, I think, is going to be very important. The Democrats will fight us all the way. One thing I learned the other night, again, I could say, because it's my fifth such speech. And at the beginning, I said, I didn't know it was going to be as pertinent as it turned out to be, that no matter what I do, this group of people in front of us, I could come up with the cure to the worst disease that the world has ever seen. I gave other examples. I said, no matter what I do, they're going to sit there angry, insolent. You just see it. I mean, you see it, you can feel it. No matter what I say, no matter what I do, no matter who it is, they won't stand, they won't applaud, they won't clap. They'll just sit there with sour faces. And that's what they did. And, you know, it was interesting. I said, I wonder if I should put this in, but it worked out to be true. And I think by putting it in, I showed that it was true. And it's sad because we're doing great things in this country. This country's really got a chance to be pretty quickly great again. I think the country's got a big light over it right now. And I've been told this by even other foreign leaders. We had Modi, we had everywhere. We had from France to India to about 12 that want to come in. They all want to be here. Every one of them wants to be here. We had the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom who was here, and he couldn't believe. He said the difference in terms of the feeling about the United States is very different. It feels that we're back, we're respected again. We are respected again. And in a way, we're back, and it's only been a few weeks.
That's right. There's a light shining over our country. That's what Trump said. There's a light shining over our country. And I believe it. You know, I feel it. I see it. Here is, you'll catch the name at the beginning. A preacher who is aiding and abetting people crossing the border. Let me get rid of that Thomas Crooks picture. It'd make me sick. But anyway, here is some preachers still aiding and abetting, getting called out.
All right, Mr. Holman, here we have Pastor Ray aiding and abetting out here in the middle of nowhere, literally about 8 to 10 miles on the outskirts of Sassabee, Arizona. He's now getting shaky, making weird faces because he knows he got caught with his pants down. Take a look at all these men. Before their excuse was that they were going to be helping children and women, and now all we are seeing is military-age males coming through here in this particular sector. This is human trafficking, aiding and abetting 100%. Only one woman out of all of these men, and the majority of these men actually end up crossing and some continue going up north. They've deliberately disobeyed our laws, and they are now making other water station areas out here in assisting in the aiding and abetting of these individuals who are clearly breaking the law. This is federal immigration, and they're breaking federal immigration laws right here, guys. 100%.
Yeah, look at that tent with a red cross on it. Yeah, you give money to the Red Cross. Well, they just get it from the government. Money from the government, which is us, our money. Elon Musk said an investigation found 5 ActBlue funded groups responsible for Tesla, quote, protests, including that woman I just showed. Troublemakers, Disruption Project, Rise and Resist, Indivisible Project, and Democrat Socialists of America. Well, you add to that, Elon, take down Tesla, or Tesla takedown, whatever, that I showed. ActBlue fundraisers include who? George Soros, Reid Hoffman, Herbert Sandler, Patricia Baumann, and Lee Hunt Hendricks, probably of the Hunt family that makes ketchup. Okay, we know the Heinz family is a bunch of liberals. ActBlue is currently under investigation for following foreign and illegal donations and criminal violation of the campaign finance regulations. This week, 7 ActBlue senior officials resigned, including the Associate General Counsel. If you know anything about this, please post in the replies. Thanks, Elon. So, there we got names. We got names of organizations. Bye-bye, Diamond Silk says. Election forecaster that predicted Kamala victory closes down. Who's that? The bunch affiliated with ABC, okay? The ones that helped cover up the Epstein thing, the one that's owned by Disney. Anyway, political forecasting site 538, best known for its election predictions and statistical analysis, shutting down as part of sweeping layoffs. Ha ha, goodbye. ABC News and Disney Entertainment Networks. They will collapse under the weight of their own illegality. Remember, that's what we heard? Where is that? ABC also is getting rid of, where is that? Getting rid of a bunch of jerks. Some morning show. Where is it? I've got a report on that. Oh, well, if I trip across it, I might. Wait a second. Well, anyway, they're getting rid of Good Morning something. And they're all crying over it, if I can find it. Oh, well. There was a report out that them closing down that Good Morning show that they put out has got a bunch of them in tears. And I just don't see that I've got it in the studio anymore. Daggone it. Oh, here it is. Here it is. ABC News. Entirely gutted. GMA3 fired executive producer as part of layoffs. People are crying and upset. There they are. GMA3, what you need to know. What we need to tell you that's a bunch of garbage. And look whose face is there. George Slopadopoulos. George Slopadopoulos. He got kicked out of the press conference at the White House. Isn't he good? And look, here's another stunt they're trying to pull. Donald Trump insults Lesotho by saying nobody's heard of it. Remember, Trump said an African nation called Lesotho, they were, I don't know what they were doing, transgendered studies on worms or something like that in Lesotho. I don't know what it was. And he said, nobody's ever heard of Lesotho. Well, it's true. I never heard of a country named Lesotho, but they put it out on Google News. Here's the attempt at stirring up trouble on shorts. There you go, YouTube Shorts. There's Derek Chauvin. There's Trump. Will Trump pardon Derek Chauvin? And Trump said, this was after Trump's been asked about it. He said, I haven't heard anything about it. I don't know what you're talking about. He knows they're trying to set him up. They're trying to set him up for something controversial that they can all raise hell about. Let's see if I got any clips of, Canada got themselves a new prime minister, did some kind of limited votes or something like this. This is the new creepo, a liberal. A liberal is going to be the prime minister. I don't know their process, how they ended up with this guy.
In first place, the next Prime Minister of Canada, Mark Carney, with 131,674 votes, resulting in 29,457 allocated points, representing 85.9% of the vote.
Yeah, he did a little jump at the end there, didn't he? I don't know what the hell that was all about. Did a little jump. All right, folks, this is a funny video that I think you all will enjoy here at the end of the program. And I want to appreciate everybody for tuning in tonight. And if you're not subscribed, why aren't you subscribed? Did you give me a thumbs up? And if you didn't, give me a thumbs down. Let me know something. Anyway, thank you, everybody. I got a little video here that is a satire, in case anybody gets upset over it. And I want to thank you all for spending your precious time with me. I want to thank everybody who went to buy me a coffee in my last broadcast and this broadcast. Bev and Mike and Gary and Miss Minda Sue and Angela. Thank you so much for helping out. I got a link in the description. I hope you all enjoy this little spoof, and I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
What's the password?
I pay dead people.
You think you're getting rid of us federal employees? Think again. Working from home, mustard on my tea, though. Ain't going back, talk to OMB, bro. Underfired, overpaid, can't be seen, though. Turn my camera off to exfoliate my T-zone. Get mail checks long as I'm alive. You work late, I am on my couch at 5. Automatic raises, they keep going higher. Trying to get rid of me, you're gonna need a minor. It's real and it's fantastic. GS-14 working down in Myrtle. Snapping selfies cause I just saw a turtle. This back to work requirement is one you cannot hurdle. Look at me, I'm doing work. JK, it's the word. You tax-paying folk work hard with your hands. We take your money cause apparently we can. So we can brainstorm billion-dollar plans. Much ado about nothing but everybody trans. It's pretty good, right? I mean, I know they need food, but I feel like this is better. Building piers in Gaza, but I think I did it wrong. You sent us spending money, but baby, it's been gone. I'm probably gonna need 100 million for repairs. The pronouns for whose bombs are built are they and them and theirs. Walk, 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 walk. What if Trump could dance? Walk, 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 walk. Well, I think it's us. May not like us.